Summer Mym is a 5-star shadow mana caster unit, using the long-range variant. She has probably one of the most revealing character designs in game, that may have resulted in more Barnkings to horny jail. She is a flame whim, that is now in the shadow element. How does that even work? Putting that aside, she is quite interesting, in terms of breaking everyone's expectations. Not only she is in the shadow element instead of flame, but unlike her other two versions, she doesn't transform into Brunhilde. Instead, she has dragondrive, which is probably there to not ruin her swimsuit via shape-shifting. Let's check out her overall kit and find out how does all of it work together. Her first skill, Toilet Memory, costs 3950 SP. It deals 1026% damage, reducing enemy defense by 5% for 10 seconds, inflicts Shadow Blight, and fills the Dragondrive gauge by 10% when the attack connects. This skill changes when Mym is in Dragondrive. During Dragondrive, this skill drains 28.3% of the Dragondrive gauge, dealing 1248% damage, and also reduces defense and inflicts Shadow Blight. This skill also completely fills its own skill gauge after use, and enhances Mym's Dragondrive standard attacks for 10 seconds. Like many Dragondrive units, the initial variant of the skill is always overshadowed by the Dragondrive variant. It is quite powerful in the Dragondrive variant, with potential of endless spamming of this skill. Shadow Blight and the Defense debuff are nice additions to this already powerful skill, providing additional damage. The enhancement of the standard attacks is a powerful buff, as it not only powers up Mym's standard attacks, but also increases the amount of Dragondrive points gained per combo, from 150 points to 200 points. It is also immune to Curse of Nihility. This allows the Dragondrive form to be maintained more easily and usable in all light stages. Overall, this skill shares many similarities with the initial skills of other Dragondrive units, but with a buff that is actually beneficial in maintaining the Dragondrive form. Her second skill, A Midsummer's Night Blast, is definitely one of the longest skill names I've seen. It costs 9855 SP, deals 1767% damage in a line, and grants a strength amp with a maximum level of 3, making her the first non-Gala unit to have a team maximum strength amp level of 3. This skill is noticeably more plain, but unlike a certain Sylvan Archer, this seemingly boring skill is actually useful, specifically strength amp. Just by slapping it onto an otherwise plain damage dealing skill makes Mym a decent buffing unit, with a high maximum strength amp level beneficial in the minion stages, as the only other unit at the moment with the same limit is Gala Alex with her mana spiral unlocked at a certain degree. Overall, this skill does a lot more despite its short skill description, with a high SP cost that is moderately manageable. Mym has the standard mana caster co-ability, Gauge Accelerator. Her chain co-ability is Dragon Haste, great for herself as it is one of the few abilities that can influence Dragondrive, and a good ability overall. As for her abilities, we'll first look at her Dragondrive ability, Summer Sparks. Unlike other Dragondrive units, who have some power within them to allow Dragondrive, from synthetic modifications, weird tentacle creatures, to a magical bloodline, there isn't really a compelling reason for Mym to have Dragondrive. It could be due to the fact that she's a dragon herself, and in that case, kind of follows how Aldred and Belina were able to enter Dragondrive, with Mym having a lot more control than both of them. Anyway, during Dragondrive, Mym's standard attacks change into a slightly slower attack animation that somehow resembles a person firing a shotgun. Like all Dragondrive units, connected attacks can fill the Dragondrive gauge, as well as having a 25% strength boost while Dragondrive is in effect. The Dragondrive effects are slightly less than others, but given that her first skill can enhance her basic Dragondrive attacks, it's kind of justified. She also has 100% skill prep, which can allow Mym to get the attacks going early, and also go into Dragondrive a bit earlier. Her 100% paralysis resist is a good resist ability to prevent taking more damage, and arguably better than blindness resist, as blindness only causes your attacks to have a higher chance to miss, with possibility to hit enemies while blinded. Summer Mym is quite similar to many dragondrive units in terms of her overall playstyle, with emphasis on her dragondrive state and her first skill in such state. Hence, a standard offensive build will work on her, with a bit of dragon haste if you wish to achieve dragondrive faster. As Mym uses dragondrive, the only things that matter on the dragon selection are the dragon abilities. For a general attack focused dragon, Reborn Nidhogg is the go-to option, with its incredibly high modifiers. Merishitan is on the other side of the spectrum, being a budget option for that role. On the middle of the spectrum, I place Ramiel, a dragon with decent strength mods and 50% dragon prep that can allow Mymented dragondrive immediately. For skill focused dragons, the optimal choice would be Urson, with his second highest cumulative mods for skill damage among shadow dragons, behind Cat Sith. Speaking of Cat Sith, she's actually not a very good choice for Mym. This is because Mym's attacks in dragondrive form are a bit slow, and also a skill spamming focused playstyle, both of these affecting Cat's sweet ability. The farmable option would be Shinobi, with his 90% skill damage buff being a relatively good damage mod. For weapons, the Wanli Kyunyun is a great blaster for her, with Shadow Jito weapons among the very best. The ability that matters most is the attack rate buff, which can compensate for the slow attack animation of her standard attacks during dragondrive. The curse trigger is also a great option, especially since it looks badass, but I would recommend going for the Agito Blaster, as Kayan below Master is an absolute joke when the team has adequate DPS and some basic in-game situational awareness. For her Wimprint setup, my recommendations are focused on a pure offensive build, focusing on skill and critical hits. These are the general recommendations. However, a double buff build is possible when Partey is in the team. Summer Mym is another great dragondrive unit, very similar to them yet very distinct in various ways. Her distinct features are her high team strength amp level, and her very distinct attack animation compared to other long-range mana caster units. Of course, I have to point out her weaknesses. Her first one is shared by all dragondrive units, that is, she has to intermittently use standard attacks to maintain her dragondrive in between uses of her skills. Second, among other dragondrive units, her skill consumes the most unique transformation points at 850 UTP. Granted, she gains a buff that can increase her dragondrive charge rate, accompanied by the attack rate ability from the Agito weapon, which can compensate for the high cost. Overall, Summer Mym is a great and fun unit that is a welcomed addition to your team. Now go out there and read up her character story. I guarantee that it's a pretty interesting read, and also gives an insight on the context of that crystal floating beside her. That's all from me. Moga out.